So if you go on one of the guitar forums and ask the experts about this, a lot of them are going to say it's going to ruin your tone, it's going to ruin your bass, it's going to ruin your treble, it's going to ruin your mids, it's going to ruin your dynamics. And what I'm talking about is the attenuator. This is probably one of the cheapest one you can find. It's Harley Benton. It's Thoman's own brand. So yeah, I'll show you how it works, why you may even want to use one, what's it for, and what does it potentially ruin. So if you're not familiar with this product at all, an attenuator like this, you put this between your amplifier and your speaker so that you can turn down the volume between the amplifier and the speaker. So why would you want to do that? It's typically if you have a tube amp that you want to turn up the volume to kind of push the amp and get it to break up or to the edge of breakup without it being too loud. So you can turn up the amp and turn down the volume knob on the attenuator. So you get that tone you're after without it being too loud. The advantage is that you can get the amp to break up. So this amp that I have here is a Fender Vibrolux amp, and if I turn it up, it's gonna be too loud for pretty much all the settings that I play in. So I can't really do that. So I can't get this amp to naturally break up without it being too loud. So that's why I'm going to use this. So I'm going to hook it up and show you how it sounds. Okay, so this is with the attenuator fully open, right? So no attenuating yet. So the amp now is on volume 5, and it's just maybe slightly breaking up. But this is kind of loud. This is probably, for me, most times would be a little bit too loud. So if I turn it up even more, it's definitely going to be too loud. So this guitar I'm going to show you now with, this is humbucker and with single coils. I can split or tap or whatever it's called. So people call this kind of amp a great pedal platform. Of course, you can use overdrive pedals and it's going to work really well. But I've tried so many different overdrive pedals. You get great sounds, but you never get quite the same thing that you'll get when you push the amp itself. So let me show you that. I'll start by turning up the volume to 8. And I'll turn this, let me show you how this works when I turn it down. Right, so you can take it down to nothing, really. Okay. So now the amp is on 8. So you can hear it start to break up really nicely, right? This is perfect tone, I think, for any kind of bluesy So I don't know what you think. To me, this doesn't sound like it has ruined my tone at all. Like dynamic, the feeling of playing with this thing hooked up, it's, to me, I don't feel the difference at all, right? And what I'm gaining, of course, is I can get the amp to sound like this, which is, it's really, really fantastic sound. So an amp that is breaking up like this, let me show you, for example, with the treble pickup. Also, this now is split or tapped or whatever. So it's like a single chord. Humbucker. So now I have one pedal hooked up right now, and that's a tube screamer. Let me put this on so you can hear how this amp sound when you push it with a tube screamer. Okay, now I wanted to show you one more thing, and that's leaving the tube screamer on and turning the volume down and opening up this again, so you can see what a tube screamer sounds like into a clean amp. It's a little bit loud still. It's probably driving a little bit still. Okay, so this is the same setting on the tube screamer. I mean, it's not that bad, but it's not really a very sustainy, inspiring tone if you want to play leads and get, you know. It's a little bit dull, so let's turn up the amp again to 8. Turn down this a little bit. To me, this is a really nice. Turn off the tube screamer. So that's what the attenuator does. This one is less than $100. You know, it's the simplest. I don't know how these things work. You get like really expensive ones with that are really like amplifiers within the box, and then that's really what you're hearing. But this is like very simple. Doesn't need to be plugged into anything, or you know. And yeah. So my conclusion, of course, is you know, I haven't really tried. Well, I haven't showed you what it would be if I put the amp in a different room and showed you A/B comparisons between without attenuator and with attenuator. But I'm sure you can find that online, people showing you how they sound different. But that's not really my point. You know, my point is that I could not get this tone out of this amp live. In studio, of course, I can, but live I can't get this tone without it being too loud. And to me, this sound is really nice. I want to show you. The same thing on a different amp. I have a Marshall style amp, so I'm going to hook that up and see how the attenuator works on that one. Really nice sounding amp. It's not really a Marshall. It's one of those clones that you know you can buy building sets. I don't know. I didn't build it. I got it used. But so it's yeah. But so I'm guessing it's pretty. It's like a hand-wired thing. So it's really close sounding, I would guess, to a hand-wired vintage Marshall. So this channel has just 2 knobs. It doesn't have a master volume. It has volume and then tone. So let me turn down this attenuator and turn up the volume on amp. sound. This is single coil still. Let's see with humbuckers. And with a tube screamer. Ooh, it's pretty hot. Let's try single coils. Oh, it's a little bit too much even. Without. Yeah, so you know, you get the picture. Feel wise, of course, you I can't really show you what it feels like to play it, but it doesn't feel, I mean, it feels very nice to play. It's not like the dynamics are, I don't know what they would be, how they would be different, and I definitely don't think it sounds lifeless or dull or, I don't know. I can't hear it different at all, to be honest. And come to think of it, sometimes I've had this hooked up even when I been in the studio and had this speaker in a different room, just because I didn't want to play so loud. And yeah, it's, I don't hear a difference. I don't feel a difference. So maybe, you know, maybe that's just me. But I suspect that, yeah, what do I suspect? With the Marshall, you can hear that, those kind of ghost tones sometimes. I don't know if you can hear it through the microphone, but it's like a note that is not a note you're playing, that you can hear just because you're pushing the amp so hard. You can hear that? Imagine how loud you had to play that 100-watt Marshall to get that tone, right? That it's kind of, it sounds like it's almost about to break apart. All right, not enough. Enough of that. I hope this was helpful. I know that. I haven't, I mean, it took me a long time to get one of these. Not because I didn't think it, that they ruined my tone, but just, yeah, a lot of things to think about when you play guitar, so that's why. But yeah, I know, I think many jazz players are not that that into different gear, I think, as much as maybe rock players or blues players, rock players, pop players, you know. So probably a lot of you guys who follow me haven't, you know, haven't really heard of this or thought about it or whatever. But it's for, especially for an amp like this with no master volume, it's really nice, really handy to have this this kind of box. So yeah, that's it. See you soon. Bye bye.